Hello fellow tankers, Space Bandit here with another episode of World of Tanks. And today I bring you a couple games in my M103. Now you're probably wondering, why do you see Rinkols instead of Space Bandit on this page? Well, it's a long story. This is actually my second account. Actually, not my second account per se. It's more of a family account. So when I started playing World of Tanks, I was using a family account, but at one point I realized my stats are not the greatest on the family account because everybody plays on it, my kids, for the most part. So I decided to create a second account, which I called Space Bandit, and that's the account you see on my channel for the most part, because that's the account I mostly use to play World of Tanks. Although I do go back to my family account every once in a while, because I have tanks on this account that I don't have on my Space Bandit account. Actually, some of the tier 10 medium tanks and some of the key medium lines, American medium line and Russian medium line, I do have them on this account. That's why maybe occasionally you'll see me on this account playing, but regardless, don't pay attention to that. It is still me playing, except it's on a different account. And today we are in M103. Now, I haven't played this tank in a long time because for whatever reason I was getting really piss poor matchmaking, but I haven't played it for so long. I do like this tank. I really do like this tank, and I think they've buffed it slightly in one of the latest updates. So the armor on it is a little bit better. Now the cupola on top is still very weak, so for the most part usually you see everyone trying to hit that cupola on top. But if you create a decent enough gun depression on this tank, if you actually maximize your gun depression, then that cupola becomes ineffective. It's so much harder to hit it. So this tank is totally a ridge fighter, so that's how you should probably play this tank, mostly using ridges. Now once you get to the final package, the gun on it is the same as on tier 10 T110E5. So yeah, for tier 9 it's an excellent gun. It's pretty accurate, it has very good penetration, and if you need more penetration you can switch to heat rounds. Now one thing that I don't like about it is the fact that it doesn't have APCR rounds, but again, it's a matter of preference. If you like fast shell velocity, then you definitely prefer APCR rounds, but if you're okay with AP, it works. Heat rounds, they're alright, except the problem with them is that, yeah, their shell velocity is pretty horrific, so yeah, that's why I don't like them that much. But anyway, AP rounds on this tank as standard rounds are pretty good, and you can do most of your battling at tier 9, tier 10 with using the AP rounds. Now once you start facing much harder opponents like Martians or E100, then yeah, you might want to switch to the heat rounds. Now as you noticed probably early, I am in bottom tier in this game. Actually, there are only, I think only 3 tier 9s in this game, and I was on the bottom of the team list. So yes guys, I wanted to show you how to play when you're bottom tier. That's first thing, and I know many of you have asked me in the past to show how to play as bottom tier. Now if you have good enough gun to be penetrating higher tiers, then you should definitely play as a damage dealer. Now if your gun is not good enough, then obviously you won't be able to play kind of in your face type of style game. You're gonna have to find other ways to do that, and it's a lot more difficult to rack up damage when you have a gun that has hard time penetrating tier 10s. So this playstyle would be a lot different than if you would play a medium tank with lower penetration. Then your flanking is more important. In this situation I play M103 still as in your face kind of type of brawler, but as you're gonna see here, this tank can be easily penetrated by tier 10s, especially if you expose a little bit of a side turret, just a little bit. This turret is so big that anything will go through it. It's an easy target from any direction, so if you're not facing forward, pretty much anyone will have easy time penetrating you on the side. Anyway, let's comment over the gameplay a little bit. I know I've been kind of drifting off here a bit, so let's reel it back on. Let's talk about the game. So early in this game I tried to support the 2 lane and try to push there, but as you noticed, things have changed dramatically. I think the opposing team took the east side of the map early, and we managed to take the west side of the map, so the map split became a lot different. And because I wasn't seeing anybody at the 2 line, I decided to turn around and help with the base defense, which I most of the time tend to do. In some cases it gets me in trouble, but in some cases it is so rewarding if you do that. So As you can see, I'm looking for a proper position here. Now, I don't know this area of the map. I never play out of here, so I don't know the terrain. I tried to get through those rocks on top. I tried to get some high ground to get shots into those tank destroyers, but I couldn't get the high ground. So I'm trying to advance a little bit further, but this is a bit sketchy because I'm a little bit in the open area here. Here I get the nice shell into this object, but basically I'm in an open area here, and whoever has penetrated me earlier, I'm worried that they'll be able to penetrate me here in this position, although I'm not detected at this moment, so I'm fairly safe. And there is this kind of a hill in front of me, or incline, as you can see, that may be protecting me from the tanks that are at J0, especially that M103 and the T10 that are there. So I'm gonna try to stick around this position a little bit longer, and we spot this STI. We're gonna put a shell into him, and this bush in front of me is protecting me right now, so he can't see me. I'm kind of blocked out, so we're gonna try to put a second shell into him. Now I don't know what happened to that shell. Obviously it missed, so here I'm gonna try to respot him again. I'm gonna go to the right side, but now I am within his view range, so he spots me at the same time. So I put a shell into him, he puts a shell into me. I don't know where he pens me, probably turret cheek with heat. You could probably go through it. But anyway, we're gonna put one more shell into him, and we're behind the bush now, so we should be disappearing in a second. Here we disappeared. He shoots blindly, but he hits me in a turret, in a manlet, I believe. So here we're gonna hang on to this position a little bit longer. We're gonna put another shell into him. So as you notice here, the reason why I'm here in this location is because I want to provide crossfire to the opposition, help my team, and provide crossfire from different location, right? So that was the reason me being here. Now at this point I thought it's a good time to push, but then I realized I'll be crossing through the open, and I'm at only 588 hit points left, so it's not probably a very good decision. So I decided to drop. I'm like, okay, you know what, that's not going to work. So instead I decided to go around and try to maybe defend the other side of the map. As you noticed, we lost the 2-lane at this point in time, so there are tank destroyers there, and there's another heavy tank over there. So I'm just hoping that my tanks can survive, and they're dropping like flies. As you see now, we have only 3 tanks left, a heavy tank. Oh, here I have a shot at this Yak Panzer. Unfortunately that shell slightly misses. That would have been a key kill actually if we could have taken him out of the game. But anyway, only 3 tanks left, so I'm gonna try to get into a more comfortable position to defend this area. And I see the medium tank is coming with me, so I'm hoping that he's smart enough to hang around with me. I'm gonna tag my tanks. I'm gonna tell them to defend this position. If we can hunker down, the 3 of us, we could probably be able to kind of at least, you know, hold this location for a little bit longer. But my medium tank decides to go full YOLO. I don't know what the hell he's doing over here. I told him to stop, but he doesn't pay attention to me. So this E4 started paying attention to him. He's gonna go right after him. I put a shell into this E4, and then I realized I'm in a bad spot now because I have no cover whatsoever. So I'm backing out. I'm gonna put one more shell in this E4, and I think, yeah, that's it. He took me out of the game. So we weren't able to win this game, unfortunately, guys, but we tried. That's all you can do. All you can do is try. And if your tier 10s don't carry in a tier 10 game, then tier 9s can only do so much, right? Unfortunately. So it's pretty decent result for a tier 10 game. Actually, this tank does pretty well, even at tier 10. So you should be expecting between 3 and 4k damage in this tank if you play it well. So yeah, we finished on top of the team, and as you notice on my team, the highest damage tier 10 dealer was the Death Star with over 4k damage, which is alright, but my other tier 10s didn't do that much in this game. Especially if you look at the bottom of the list, T110E4, bad shot, and 60 TP with basically with less than 1000 damage each. That's not gonna help. And then we have Foch with 0 damage. So yeah, there's only so much you can do. Okay guys, so let's keep to the second game of the evening, and this time we are top tier. We are on Matt Rossyia, or Rossyia. I think you pronounce it Rossyia. And it will be quite interesting game because on this map, normally what happens is a lot of heavy tanks or heavily armored tanks go into the castle area. F2, G2, G3 around there, and they battle it out. But early in the game here, I kind of noticed that none of my team is pinging the castle area, and it seems like most of them prefer to go field. So I decided to go field as well. If this is where our forces are, then I think this is where we need to go. I mean, if you notice now, there are 2 light tanks heading up the castle area. There's a tank destroyer and some other tank there as well. So yeah, these guys are going to be heavily outnumbered. And in this situation, if I was the tank destroyer and that heavy tank, I would just hold that position at D2 maybe, or E2, somewhere over there, to see, basically draw the opposition out, because there's a lot of covering fire from area A5. So if they could kind of draw these guys out from the castle area, they would get shots from the guys sitting at A-line, pretty much, right? So you need to learn how to utilize your teammates, guys. This is a team game, remember that. But anyway, I'm gonna try to give a hard push on this side of the map. I'm a top tier, so I should be pushing the sequence here. Shouldn't be playing really passive, so we're gonna try to push hard. But you'll notice at one point that all of our tanks took their positions and they basically stopped pushing. So it'll be just me and a Centurion, I think, they're gonna push. And this guy gets set on fire early in the game. Wow, GG. Guys, carry your fire extinguishers. Always check what's the fire chance on your tank. And if it's over 15%, I suggest that you always bring an automatic fire extinguisher. I know it's 20k, it's not cheap. 20,000 credits, it's not easy to swallow. But for the majority of time, it's never going to happen. You're not going to catch fire. And if you do, it's really going to protect you. And once you get your firefighting skill, then you don't have to carry one. But until that point, I strongly suggest that you carry an automatic fire extinguisher. Now, some tanks that have less than 15%, like 10% chance, and I wouldn't worry about that. But, you know, I think I carry automatic fire extinguisher on pretty much almost every one of my tanks. Unless my crew already has firefighting skill, but in many cases it doesn't. Because I just don't play this game often enough, and my crews are not as skilled as some of the other players that are playing this game, maybe on a daily basis. Anyway, so as you notice now, like, my team is not really progressing. They're kind of stuck. I'm the furthest one out, and I can't really push over this hill because I know there are tanks. Like, you can see the Senshi, plus there are a couple tank destroyers sitting in, where would it be? Somewhere G7? G6? Somewhere over there. So I'm trying to angle here, make sure I have cover in front of me. Try to use my gun depression to see if I can get shots into these guys. So I do penetrate Senshi with my first shot, and after that I don't have any shots. So basically the idea here is just to keep things spotted for my artillery if I can. And now you notice I'm targeted, so I'm gonna drop slightly. Now this Centurion 7-1 is gonna go around the hill, and he's gonna try to flank our medium tank, I think. But so yeah, I kind of turned to face him, but at the same time, see, that was a mistake. I turned my sight towards these guys that are sitting and yeah, in those sniping positions there. So I took one hit, unneeded hit there. I could have probably, because I started turning too early, I should have probably just stayed in that position, wiggled back and front, and then turned later once my sixth sense comes off. But I didn't do that properly. Yeah, if you want to be a good tanker, you gotta play your textbook style, boys. Otherwise, yeah, I mean, especially if you're at tier 10, you're gonna get punished hard if you don't play your textbook. So that's why I'm trying to pay attention to every detail. Yet I've been in a game for so long, I still make mistakes every time I play. So it's natural. It's part of being human. So here we're gonna try to get a shell into the Senshi, but I can't get my gun down, so I'm kind of playing around, moving my tank. Eventually I do get my gun down, and yeah, we're able to pick him off before the Centurion does. So now we're gonna try to progress. We're gonna see if we can take the RD out of the game. So we're gonna scoot on this side of the rock. Why on this side? Because they're sniping from the other side. So you wanna poke over the hill, limit one angle, correct? So that's what I'm doing here, limiting one angle. Unfortunately, this shot doesn't come off, and Centurion takes out the artillery. But in a second here, yeah, we spotted this Chinese tank destroyer. We're gonna put one shell into him. We're gonna drop quickly. And you can see I'm also on the other side of that hill, so that it is difficult for these guys sniping to hit me. So here I poke out. I'm gonna try to take a shot at this AT-15. He manages to damage my gun. So we repair it quickly. It's a tough play with damaged guns, so we do that. And in this tank I carry 2 repair kits, and in many cases, in many of my tanks I carry 2 repair kits because, well, I'll explain it in a second. So I'm shooting at this tortoise. I'm trying to hit this cupola, and I'm using AP shells still. But the problem is that from this distance, the accuracy is not the greatest. So the reason I'm switching to heat is because now it gives me an option. If I don't hit his cupola, I hit his superstructure, and I'll still be able to penetrate him right there. Right? So, yeah. So he gets taken out. So we're gonna move forward a little bit here. Now, going back to repair kits, the reason why I carry 2 repair kits for the most part is because I try to optimize my crew for view range and gun performance. And if you do that in your tanks, then obviously, and your crew is not skilled enough, then you're neglecting something. And in my case, I'm neglecting the repair skills, correct? So I don't have track mechanic, I don't have repairs. And the reason for that is, like I said, because I'm trying to optimize other things. So that's why I carry 2 repair kits. And in many cases I'm cheap, so I carry 2 small repair kits. But if I were you, I would carry 1 small, 1 big, because big repair kit acts as an extra repair skill. It actually will repair your tracks a lot quicker. Anyway, we're losing this game all of a sudden. We're kind of winning, now we're losing. So it's 4-5, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to outflank this AT-15. Now I could have tracked him here and kind of juice him, but I decided I have room to go, so I decided to go around him. There's nothing he can do, plus there's a tank destroyer coming from the other side, and he kind of doesn't know what to do anymore, so he gets taken out. And at this point in time, I was thinking whether I should go and cap, or whether I should go back to my base. But I see our medium tank dropping to cap the enemy's base, so I thought to myself, okay, if he can cap, and these guys are busy with that tank destroyer sitting at A4, then I'm gonna use that opportunity to head back. And I know there's 1 heavy tank on the way. I think it's one of those tier 8s. I can't remember which one it was at this point in time. He'll get spotted in a second. There he is. It's an AMX, tier 8 AMX. I think he's stuck as well. So we're not gonna waste any time. We can take a hit here, so I don't care. We're just gonna auto aim and take him out of the game. Quick shot. We want to help out the tank destroyer, so I'm hoping to get myself in a position where I can get shots at these guys. But this guy plays it well. He's actually gonna take out both of these guys, I think, from what I remember. So again, I'm cruising over. I'm trying to get myself in a shooting position. I don't know. Oh, there's a shooting lane right here, so I think I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna try to aim a shot at this P-43. That shot doesn't come off, but he gets taken out. And yeah, he's still there fighting this light tank, and he kills the light tank as well. I don't know how he did that. I should have probably went and checked it on the replay, because that was quite interesting. Here I get spotted. The only tank left on the enemy team is E-75, so I loaded heat just to ensure that I'd be able to pen him. But it looks like he's AFK. Yeah, it looks like he's AFK. So we're gonna cruise around here. First, you know, I thought I'll put a damaging shot into him, and then I thought, man, I should have probably tracked him in case that tank destroyer shows up. I can get some assisted damage. So here we're gonna track him. And yeah, we switched back to AP rounds because there's no need for heat if he's AFK. So we're gonna keep on retracking him and try to juice him. Free damage is free damage. As far as I'm concerned, you work hard to get to the end of the game, and if you get someone that's AFK, it's just an icing on the cake. Well, there he is. He woke up, actually. So we're gonna try to track him again. Yes, we do. We move forward. We're gonna try to block his shot with my turret, and we do so. And he repairs. So we're gonna try to retrack him here. Yes, we retrack him, and we set him on fire. So this should be gravy. That's it. Yeah. Nice finishing touch. And there it is, a victory. Pretty close game. We finished with, I don't know, close to almost 5k damage, I think. I didn't catch the screen over there, but it was close to that. Yeah, 4.8k damage with 768 assisted, which brings that total to about 5.5 combined. Relatively good game for M103. I mean, not spectacular. We did get class 1. We are stuck on 2 stars. Damage standing at 89%. I'm not going for 3 marks on this tank. It's just most of my, you know, I play this tank for fun for the most part. But lately I have been having such bad luck with matchmaking with this tank that I decided not to play it for a while. But yeah, this weekend I played it, I don't know, 9-10 games in it. And they were all pretty good games. So I managed to have quite a few games over 4k damage. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Go check out Kongai72 and Garadengi. That's it for today. Until next time, happy tanking, Space Bandit, checking out.